forewarn weather with exclusive cutting-edge technology to help keep you and your family safe.
Welcome back, everybody. Actually tracking some potentially severe storms. I guess one of the benefits of living on the east side of the state, besides it being the best side of the state, is that a lot of times we get to see the storms and what they're like as they come through, and we know what it's like before it gets to us.
Right, but with this, the cold front that's approaching us as we rise in temperatures before that cold front arrives, I mean, it's going to clash and probably be a little bit bigger and more robust.
So
here.
it kind of grow as it moves towards us.
Absolutely, and we've been watching that over the last hour. I'll show you radar in a second. I just want to recap real quickly at this lunch hour what we're tracking for today. So if you weren't with us early this morning, Storm Prediction Center really upgraded us, I should say, became a little more widespread with that marginal risk, so expanded that risk for today for all of southeastern Michigan. So damaging wind gusts over 60 miles per hour will be the primary threat, and you could see some isolated flooding with heavy downpours, but we don't really anticipate much in the way of hail or any kind of rotating storms. You never can rule it out, but that's really not what's on the table today with this front. Now that severe risk, the widespread window 1 to 7, we're not that far off from 1 o'clock. I did put a ruler on our radar to see just how far that line is, and we're looking at about 60 to 70 miles away from our western suburbs. And so with this moving close to about 20 miles per hour as I was calculating it, I think we're still a few hours out from this pushing into southeastern Michigan. Now with that said, we're going to be in the peak heat of the day, so you're going to start to see this become a little bit more intense and robust as it pushes eastward. All has to do with this cold front, these storms that develop just right ahead of that front. Warm front's already lifted across the region, and so now for folks in Kalamazoo getting some of those heavy downpours as we speak. Good news is at this hour, no severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued, but we possibly could see a couple pop later on today. Temperature-wise, either side of 80. You actually get north of I-69 and those temperatures trending a bit warmer, where we're just shy of 80 over at Metro Airport. But those temperatures will rise into the mid-80s this afternoon. And after about 2 o'clock, probably we'll see some of those storms firing off to our west. So this model picking up some isolated coverage around 1:30. I think it might be a little bit early with the onset, but you see as that front pushes through, you get that linear line of storms, and that's going to be the line that pushes through as we get closer to the dinner hour on the east side. So unless these start to pick up in momentum, they're kind of slow paced as they're moving from west to east. So that cold front is moving along the surface, and that pushes up all that warm, humid air that we are contending with for today. And with that slope, you start to see that humidity rise, all that moisture, well, it forms the clouds, and then it has to come back down. So it comes back down as heavy rain. You often see that squall line, which would produce those really gusty winds. Here's the good news. Right behind that front, well, we're going to have some better conditions building in. We'll start a seasonal stretch starting tomorrow. Sunshine and near average temperatures, and it'll be a calmer stretch as well. So we're talking mid-80s with some sunshine building in. Wanted to show you the lake temperatures right now because this is a long holiday week for some. You might be hitting the water, especially after today with no severe threat once we get to Tuesday. 77 sea surface temperatures down into Lake Erie, 71 in the southern tip of Lake Michigan and Lake St. Clair. So we definitely have some swimming weather for the southern portion of lower Michigan into our Great Lakes. Friday forecast here close to home. So if you're spending the 4th of July across Metro Detroit, plan for possibly even upper 80s. We should stay dry for the 4th, which means dry parades across local communities. And then, of course, the firework displays will also be dry. Now, heading into the weekend, it's not completely dry. We do have a chance for some rain late Saturday. We're cranking up the heat back in the 90s. Better chance for some scattered storms by Sunday.